and happy new day. It is me, Tanisha Yorick, the founder and CEO of Your Other Mind, as well as some other really dope businesses and companies. And I'm here with another episode of The Art of Moving Forward. How y'all doing today? Yeah, man. Welcome to another episode of The Art of Moving Forward. I like saying that. That name might not stay. It might not be the name of this podcast or this show for very much longer, but it's the one I have right now. So I'm going to sit with spirit and I'm going to see. But I want to come to you guys today because I'm actually really, really excited to talk about today's topic. Because it is something that, it's just been ringing in my head for like super long. And I wanted to make room to talk about this as like the second episode of the podcast because I just feel like it's important. So something that became really clear to me in my career is, well, let's back up a little bit, right? The Art of Moving Forward, much like my company, I'm Tanisha Andrea Yorick. I am the CEO and the founder of Your Other Mind. We are a growth and implementation agency designed to help misfits, outliers, creatives, entrepreneurs, and leaders shift into their most profitable season yet, using their top 3 passions, their top 3 ideas, and turning it into one profitable system. That's for you, like done for you, or done with you. That's what we do. And I'm really, really proud of that. And I'm really, really proud to say that. And specifically, I'm really, really proud to say who we help and how we help them. The misfits and the outliers, the weirdos, right? The people that I am one of. Because I feel like there are some groups of people who get overlooked and can never really find their fit in the business world, especially the business world as we have known it, especially if that person is a coach or a consultant and their part of their model is like on the online space. That there aren't enough people who are willing to say, hey, I do business, but I'm kind of a weirdo and I have all these other obsessions and I don't really know what to do with it, right? And so when you come to this show, I want you to hear the truth and the true stories of what it means to be a young CEO and a founder, or just a CEO and a founder with so many ideas. And know specifically that is who my company helps the most. We turn everything into what you need it to be for your bank account and for your legacy. Okay. So let's start there. Now, today's topic is actually kind of about this, right? And so it's really simple. You're not confused. You're just multi-passionate. Mic drop, right? Like it's just that simple. So let me tell you a little story. I tend to start out with clients who are freaking brilliant. They are usually like solopreneurs or like baby startups, and they have all these great ideas and they have so much creativity and so many things they want to put into the world. And it's dope. It's amazing. But they hide it. Right. And usually through the journey of like being their coach or being their COO or being their consultant, I come to unpack all these layers to my clients. And usually when this happens, it doesn't happen so much anymore because we at the company have changed our process, but it used to happen a lot. I'll be building something based on what they told me. Not, I'm clairvoyant, y'all. I shouldn't really just go on people telling me, but I go doing what they told me and based on the energetics, right? I take both. And I'm doing the assessment, I'm building the audit, I'm changing their systems, their processes based on what they share with me. And then through conversation and getting to know them, here comes this like hidden thing that seems really random, right? Like I've had a therapist who was really into moms, and she cared about mothers and mother care and retreats. And you'd be like, how are all these things related? But she's like a doula and whatever. And I've had clients who, I have one woman, she was a techie. She was a tech operations person, like a COO or something for a tech startup. Very skilled at what she does, right? But she also was a spiritualist who could communicate with animals and love safaris, right? And when when I first started working with these, I use these types of clients, they came to me with one issue, and then I would have to find through our working relationship these other things. And I'm like, oh, you just need one system, honey. You don't need to like hide parts of yourself. You just need one solid system, one framework that integrates all of you. And so the real reason why you're stuck where you are in your business, my misfit entrepreneur, my outlier leader, is because you're not actually stuck. You're just not integrated yet, right? There is no confusion around who you are per se or what you have to offer. You're just used to existing in a world that makes you pick, that says you have to pick one thing, you have to be one thing, you have to go one way about it, right? And that way that you're going to go about it, it might not honor you, it might not be the best representation of you, but you have to do it this way because that's what the rules are. And the truth is that within itself creates a stuckness, because now you feel like you have to put yourself in a box that doesn't feel good, right? You've done it for your career if you left the job to pursue entrepreneurship or whatever. You may have done it in your career. You may have done it in your education, in your school days. You may have done it to prove a point, to show that you could be high achieving just like your peers, to show that you could go as hard as everyone else, to show that you were worth it, right? But is it really worth it to fit in a box that doesn't feel good? No, right? And so because for most people, and when I say most people, I'm thinking of like women, queer folk, Black, brown, indigenous. I'm thinking of people who have always kind of, not really sat at the cool table, right? You're not running to fit in, but you kind of wish you did, right? And that is what we're having to do. You think that you're confused because you are trying to make all of your brilliance, all of your ideas fit into systems that do not cater to and serve you, that fit into systems that say, leave pieces of yourself at home, please, right? And the world that we are building, your other mind, and that I'm very, very passionate about, is everyone doing all parts of their sacred work while they still have life in their bodies, while they still have their brilliance activated, and doing it through companies and teams that really change the world, give people jobs, and make you money, right? It's not worth it anymore to sacrifice any piece of yourself as if it's not related. It's all related. So when I think about this, I think about Cornerstone. Cornerstone is my signature community and coaching container, right? It's where entrepreneurs and outliers come, and we call it Cornerstone, the Founders Elevation Project. Which is where we elevate founders and CEOs. Well, usually it's our entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, into their founder and CEO era by helping them integrate their top 3 passions into one profitable system. Now, this sounds like, what am I going to do with 3 things? Well, most of us have like these hidden ideas of things that we always wanted to do and we always wanted to put into the world. We just never were brave enough to do it, nor do we have anyone teach us how to do it well, right? I use one of my clients as an example. I have a client who's in this container, and she was like, well, I didn't know. Everybody told me I had to pick one thing. And I'm like, yeah, you do pick one thing. You pick the first thing. You pick usually the easiest, that I tell my clients, is the innovative thing. The thing that disrupts your industry, the thing that your expertise is already in, where you don't have to go learn something new. You don't have to present yourself differently to the market. Is usually whatever you have already been doing. That is like usually your passion number 1. But now you kick it up by being innovative. You slip into your zone of genius. You take things off the table that are not a part of that zone of genius conversation for this industry, and you do that first. That's the first thing. You get that to a fully operable place, profitable and operable place where it exists without you. And then you let in your other things, your creativity things, your I want to give back things, right? And it's like, I'm looking at my notes over here, by the way. I just want to be really clear. And it's like, you stop hiding it. You stop hiding it and make it really clear and apparent that, like, no, there is a through line. There is something that energetically connects all of these things that I do. And I don't have to choose. I just have to go in a sacred order to the activation of these things. And through my activating all of these things, That is how the work gets done. Because I was brave enough to say, I'm going to put all parts of myself in the market. Like this idea that like you have to like wait super long for people to get it. And, you know, you have to wait really, you have to get all your money first and then like eventually start the thing. Nah, we're not doing that. There's a way to do it. Let me give another example. When I worked in tech, there was a time where I worked on a team in tech, and this was short-term luxury property rentals. And I was the first person of this department. I developed their quality assurance department, their operations excellence department. And they had all these different goals that they wanted to meet. They had all these different things that they wanted to do and get done with all these hundreds of properties that they had and managed. And at the first glance, you're like, oh my God, how do you make all these pieces come together? Well, just pick one to go first, right? And so what I ended up doing was building for them a fully functional operations excellence department with three main components. One that took care of quality assurance, one that took care of operational excellence and growth and design, and one that took care of mergers and acquisitions and the onboarding process of that, right? And so what we did in that space was we developed a little mini ecosystem. We said, well, if this is the goal for this unit of the business to churn out these results, great. How do we optimize this? How do we scale this? How do we create it? And those are three very unrelated things that were working together as one fine-tuned system. So that is my example of this, right? When people are like, I have to leave something on the table, Tanisha, I can't do it all. Honey, if you want to be a baker who also hosts the #1 chess tournament in the country, who also does retreats to Bali, absolutely you can. It's the highest expression of you, then let's make it happen. But don't think that you have to like turn pieces of yourself off, because it's actually the turning of those pieces of yourself off and then not being in your zone of genius 100% of the time or 50%. Like, you know, my clients really get to like, they're in the zone of genius about 80% of the time. It's not being in that zone of genius 80% of the time. That is what caused the confusion, because you are a human with a purpose, with a divine assignment, right? That helps you to make our world better, right? If you snuff out the light of some of that stuff, you're not as fully actualized as a human, which is why people will go through making so much money. They'll hit 7 figures and 6 figures and 8 figures even. And then all of a sudden they're like, now I built this castle and I want to burn everything down because I'd rather be a painter on the beach. And it's like, honey, you could have built the 7, 6 figures, 8 figures, and also been a painter on the beach. No one told you had to choose. You told you that. So you're not confused. You're not at some pivotal moment. You are at expansion. And the thing about it is you have to be brave enough to continue to expand when you still feel the drive to do so. Otherwise, it will feel like confusion. It will feel like non-clarity. It will feel like your wheels are turning and turning and turning, and you have no idea where the fuck to get off, right? So the question might be popping up in your head then. So how do I start, Tanisha? Get clear about what it is you really want, right? What do you really want? Why do you want to bake and be a business strategist and be an opera singer? Why? And ask yourself why, right? And when you look at the things you've baked before and you look at the business strategies you've created before and the songs you have sung, where is the through line? What have you done in this area and done in this area and done in this area that have spoken so highly to you? And what purpose did it have for you? How did it validate or identify or keep some part of you alive and engaged, right? And once you figure that out, then I want you to look at what have you sold. And I don't mean sold like literally like cash, because some of these things are like, you know, like the singing example, right? Like you haven't necessarily sold singing, but being able to see very clearly, why do I like, what is it about these things that I like? What is it about these experiences that I have done doing these things that are speaking to me? And what does the whole of this say? Now, in Cornerstone, we do things a little bit differently. We do a version of this, right? I take my clients through a few different like spiritual and energetic assessments, as well as operational assessments to identify their zones of genius, to identify what they're here to do, their impact code, their wealth codes, their prosperity codes and protocols. We do a few of those things, but base level, if you are in Cornerstone, you can figure some of this stuff out. And when you see the through line of it, like, oh, Singing is about grounding and being present. Business strategy, I love foundations and presence. Oh, and baking, it's about being present. Oh, snap. Everything I've done here is about being present. So it does really speak to me. When you can see that very clearly, you have a different level of acceptance for all of your brilliance, even when it's not related. That acceptance opens the door to courage. That courage opens the door to actually being visible. Being visible is how you usually get profitable. Offers too, offers included. Like you have to figure out the offer and all that stuff. But essentially, you get the idea, right? So I want to make sure that I got everything I wanted to say. So yeah, like, honey, you're not confused. You just think that you have to sacrifice pieces of yourself because business was taught to you a certain kind of way, right? And there are plenty of people who have brought all of their skills to the table, and they have laid it out very plain and clear. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. And those people who can say that with their chest open and their hearts open, those are the people who make it to 7 figures, 8 figures, 6 figures, whatever, and they don't burn out. And they don't feel like they snuffed out part of their lives, and they don't feel overwhelmed or burdened. They feel good. And so I want you to feel good, right? I want you to feel seen and heard. And usually to get there, you have to do it for yourself. So be brave. And if you need assistance with this process of like uncovering all your things, feel free to book a spiritual energetic strategy session with me. It's a one-on-one where we sit and we talk about your profile, some of those impact codes, those prosperity codes, to kind of see what the through line is for you and the things that you have been offering or the things that you have been wanting to sell. And then if not, if you are more on the, I'm ready to do this work for real, Tanisha, Cornerstone is perfectly where you should be. Cornerstone is where I teach you how to build your $30,000 a month or more business with all of your top 3 passions, doing everything that you love and monetizing it into one profitable company, one profitable enterprise. And that can also sound like you. So these are different ways you could work with us. There's different ways you can come into our world and come into our work and let us help you turn everything that you've been doing into one thing that fulfills you, satisfies you, and has you working less than 20 hours a week. How about that? Like the best CEOs. So yeah, that's it. Just remember, last little thing. The art of moving forward, the key to being an entrepreneur or a leader or someone who makes the strides and hits the goals that they're trying to hit is simply having the courage to keep going. So you can tell yourself that you're confused. You can tell yourself that you don't have any clarity. You don't know what you want to do and you don't know how to do it. Or you can get yourself a mentor, get yourself a coach, get yourself a consultant, get yourself some courage. And day by day, one at a time, just take a step and another step and another step and another step. And by the time you look up, you'll really be halfway there. Okay? So that's all I got for you. If this episode spoke to you, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send us an email. You'll see that in the show notes. And like I said, if you're ready to join this work, if you're ready to see what's on your plate, what you have been leaving off, please book a strategy session or come on into Cornerstone. We're waiting for you. Okay. Peace, y'all. Have a great time. I'll see you next week. Bye.